Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Still having some pretty bad issues with my left knee, so I'm going to try to make it through this video. But I wanted to do this one talking into the camera because it's just another one of those things that I want to just at least start a discussion about, and see if we can, it could be something that can help others that may be experiencing similar issues. So a while back I made a video about Dungeons & Dragons and my issues with depression and how Dungeons & Dragons helped me get through that. So today what I want to talk about is another issue that that I still actually suffer from through to this day, and that is social anxiety. I am very much an introvert, which is it's hard to believe I even make YouTube videos because of how self-conscious I am about stuff like that. And I'll be honest, whenever I put up a video, if I see the little notification that there's a comment, the first thing I expect it to be is someone telling me how awful the video is, or how terrible my presentation was, or basically how bad I did a job of putting out these videos. So just that anxiety is something that I've lived with for quite some time. I noticed it more when I moved away from the Annapolis Valley, where I had grown up and spent the majority of my life there, well over 20, 23, 24 years. I lived there, and I didn't really have as much of those anxieties there because I had already developed a pretty good group of friends from going through high school, and I knew most of my friends before I discovered Dungeons & Dragons, and then that was sort of a bridge that allowed me to make new friends in the same area. But after I moved, I started to really get, I don't want to say crippled by these anxieties, but there were a lot of times that I had plans to do something that I would end up canceling, sometimes even close to the last minute. And it was just because of the fact that, the anxiety took over, and I just, I didn't know, I just couldn't deal with it, basically. So the most recent examples of those was when I first moved to Halifax, or to Dartmouth to be more specific, which is part of the Halifax Regional Municipality, but that's a whole other thing. When I first moved here, I had I wanted to start up a regular D&D game. And so I had, some friends that, lived in the area, and we started, playing a once a month game kind of thing. But work schedules and family commitments and stuff like that kind of had that unfortunately fall apart, which is a bit of a shame, because it was a good group and it was a lot of fun. But I still wanted to run something, so I went down to my local game store, Giant Robot Comics, and I was starting to build a bit of a rapport with the owner, and so I asked if I could run D&D Adventurers League there, and he said sure. I made up a sign-up sheet, sent it in, or took it there. They put it up, and I had some people sign up for it. So I had the original date set that I was going to start running the adventure on. And as we approached that day, I think it was just a few days before, less than a week before anyway, again, I just started to just get that anxiety, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. And the thing that was making me so anxious, and when I'm talking about anxiety, it's more than just feeling a bit nervous. It affected my ability to sleep. It affected my appetite. It affected my personality. I found that I would get sort of, I don't want to say cranky, but I was short, I guess I should say. So I ended up basically contacting them and just saying, listen, something's come up. I can't run this month, but we can reschedule. And it took me another full month, basically, to finally get to the point where I felt comfortable enough to go and run it. So I guess the reason that I wanted to make this video is just so that others know that it's something that people do suffer from, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're a damaged person or stuff like that. But I mean, even like I said, even to this day, I don't find being in big crowds comfortable, and I get sort of, I don't want to say claustrophobic, but when, like, if there's a lot of people sort of hovering around, there are times that I just need to get away. That said, I have been using Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games to try to get over that, because, like I said, it's not something that I really experienced when I was living in Kentville, in the Annapolis Valley, um, because all the people that I was like associating with were friends that I had before, or people that I had met gradually through the hobby. But when I came to the city, it was completely different, and just, you know, the thought of trying to start up a new group with completely new people that I had never met before was something that just really didn't. It ended up triggering something in me that I sort of knew was always there, but I didn't know how bad it was. Another recent example was back in April of this year, when the volunteer information came up for the applications came up for HalCon. I had actually submitted, or I shouldn't say I submitted, I filled out a request to do a panel. So the panel was going to be on the history of Dungeons and Dragons, something that I did, you know, a video series of a while back, and just wanted to talk about like the various editions and like some of the rule changes and sort of how, you know, the game has kind of evolved. You know, talk about the controversy, talk about, you know, sort of it becoming, you know, something that has mainstream appeal in modern day. And I got the entire thing filled out, and went to go click the submit button, and then that's where all like the doubts and the fears and the anxiety started to take over, and I just felt like everything was closing in. I was, you know, concerned that, you know, nobody's gonna, like, who's gonna want to know to listen to me prattle on, basically, which again is something that I feel every time I make one of these videos. You know, I couldn't click submit, and I ended up just closing out the tab that I was using to fill in the form, and that was it. And I'm having those same kind of fears about running role-playing games at HalCon, because you know, I'm afraid. I've my biggest fear, I guess, or the thing that concerns me the most, is that nobody's going to want to play in the games that I run, because I'm not running D&D Adventures League, so I'm not going to have any like convention-specific rewards for people that go. I just want to run a game for people to have a good time, and but it is really difficult for me to try to get together with people that I'm meeting for the first time and run games for them. I had similar anxieties when I went to go run the Pathfinder playtest adventure that I did from HFX Games, and I managed to get through that one though, and that's the positive thing, is that, you know, my love of these role-playing games is sort of giving me what I need to overcome a lot of that, because, you know, the issue with the panel was earlier in the year versus sort of later in the year, when I've tried to branch out and I've become more comfortable running things or being in a public setting with complete strangers and interacting with them socially, which is something that in the past it would be very, very, very difficult to get me to do. There were lots of times where I would just, you know, I just wouldn't leave the house. Basically, I just, you know, had opportunities to go out and do things that may have been fun, and I couldn't do it. So anyway, so like I said, if you're someone that has, you know, similar issues, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. And the biggest thing is that, you know, try to find help for it. I mean, I have found something in my life that I can use to sort of push me through those barriers, but they still, you know, very much exist. And for me, sort of talking about it here is, you know, very therapeutic. And so hopefully this may help somebody else that may have the same issues. And if one person that has, like, you know, these anxiety issues, you know, watches this video and it helps them in any slight minor way whatsoever, then I would consider it to be, you know, an absolute success. But like I said, I found that just through continuing to run, these role playing games, it's helped me. And like there was a time before where, I mean, to start the Adventures League in the first place, it took basically a couple of months before I was able to finally do it. And as the dates drew closer and closer, the first time I just, like I said, I canceled. I just couldn't do it. And the second time I still had a lot of nerves, but I got through it because I really wanted to run the game. And like I said, I met some great people as a result. And those anxieties, like the games at Monster Comics that I would go to as a player, there was a point in time in which I wouldn't do it. Like I had seen Adventures League being run there. There was a few times I did go in on a Saturday, and I saw people there, and and there was part of me that wanted to join, but then there was this other part of me, like in the back of my mind, that just wouldn't let me do it. Like I just it was something that just kind of filled me with a sense of dread, and I did eventually manage to get through it. So anyway, so if you're struggling with social anxiety, you're not alone, and lots of people have it, even if you wouldn't think that they do. Even through making this channel and putting these videos out, it's something that has helped me, because I've been able to interact with people that I never would before, even though, like I said, I still sort of get nervous whenever I see the little notification for a comment. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to put that out there, and hopefully, it just helps identify, that issue in people, because really, until recently, I didn't even realize that it was actual social anxiety. I didn't know what to call it. I didn't know what it was, or what I was experiencing. But now that I've identified it and I've found things that help me overcome it, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So anyway, feel free to comment, below about your experiences, or some things that maybe help you overcome these issues. And again, the one big thing is that this video is meant to help people. So for anyone who's commenting, just be respectful. That should go without saying. And for the most part, it pretty much always does for the people that comment on my videos. So I've had a lot of really fantastic experiences with that, and I really genuinely appreciate everyone's comment. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.